My iPhone 17 leaks video turned out to be almost 90% accurate. So based on that same track record, today it's time to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S26 series. And trust me, Samsung has made some decisions this year that are honestly hard to digest. The most frustrating part is that the most important component of this phone is still the same one we saw back in the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Yes, 3 generations later, and we're still here. That said, Samsung has also added a couple of features that are actually ahead of the curve. Features that Apple and other Android brands are almost guaranteed to copy in the near future. Just like last year, Samsung will launch 3 phones: the small Galaxy S26, the boring but safe Galaxy S26 Plus, and the real king of the lineup, the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Starting with the design, Samsung hasn't really been creative lately. Between the S24 and S25, the only noticeable change was slightly wider camera rings. Now, with the jump from S25 to S26, those camera rings stay the same size, but Samsung places all of them on a single camera island. The result is that the entire Samsung lineup starts to look exactly the same. The base S26 and S26 Plus get no meaningful design changes at all. Every real design upgrade is reserved for the S26 Ultra. One of the biggest changes on the Ultra is the material. Apple introduced titanium with the iPhone 15 Pro, Samsung followed with the S24 Ultra, and now Apple has moved back to aluminum. Samsung is doing the same. Yes, this is technically a downgrade, but unlike the iPhone, Samsung is only using aluminum for the side frame, not the entire body, so the chances of scratch or bend issues are much lower. The upside of the switch is weight. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be the lightest Ultra phone Samsung has ever made. The S26 and S26 Plus don't see any major weight changes. Samsung is also introducing new color options for the S26 Ultra, and honestly, these are some of the most exciting colors we've seen on an Ultra phone in a while. The thickness has also changed. The S25 Ultra was 8.2 millimeters thick and about 10.6 millimeters with the camera bump. The S26 Ultra drops to 7.9 millimeters for the body, but the camera bump grows to a massive 12.9 millimeters. So the phone itself is thinner, but the camera module is significantly thicker, which clearly tells us that Samsung has made internal camera changes. Samsung is also continuing to round off the sharp corners that people complained about on the S24 Ultra. The S26 Ultra goes even further with more rounded corners, and this new curvature also affects the S Pen. The S Pen slot has been shifted slightly, and now the pen will only fit in one correct orientation. On current models, you can insert it either way, but that flexibility is gone on the S26 Ultra. The front of the phone is where things get genuinely interesting. Samsung is introducing a new privacy display using what they call Flex Magic Pixels OLED. This technology allows Samsung to control the direction of light emitted by each pixel using voltage, meaning the privacy mode can be turned on or off entirely through software. On top of that, the entire S26 series will use Samsung's latest M14 display panel, the same generation of panel found in the iPhone 15 lineup. However, don't expect the display to look as aggressive as Apple's. Apple pushes this panel to its maximum brightness and color output, while Samsung prioritizes efficiency instead. The display will still be excellent, but expectations should be realistic. Bezels have been reduced further with uniform 1.1 millimeter bezels on all sides. Performance-wise, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will feature Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor based on Zen 5. The regular S26 and S26 Plus are expected to use Samsung's Exynos 2600, which is actually a 2-nanometer chip, the first of its kind in a smartphone. That's a huge achievement, and it's impressive enough that Qualcomm is reportedly in talks with Samsung to manufacture future chips using the same process. As for RAM, Samsung is sticking to 12 gigabytes on most variants, with 16 gigabytes reserved only for the 1 terabyte model. Now let's talk about the most controversial part of any Samsung Ultra phone, the cameras. While other brands, including Apple and Chinese manufacturers, are constantly changing sensors, Samsung refuses to move on. The 200 megapixel main sensor in the S26 Ultra is the exact same one introduced with the S23 Ultra 3 years ago. The hardware hasn't changed, but Samsung is increasing the aperture from f1.7 to f1.4, allowing significantly more light to hit the sensor. This should improve low-light performance when combined with better image processing. The 5x telephoto lens also gets a wider aperture, going from f3.4 to f2.9. The ultra-wide camera remains unchanged. The 3x telephoto technically gets an upgrade from 10 megapixels to 12 megapixels, but the sensor size is actually smaller, which makes this change questionable at best. One welcome improvement is that Samsung will now shoot 24 megapixel photos by default, similar to iPhones. This allows more detail without massively increasing file size. Video features are improving too, with video lock support, a new AVP video codec similar to Apple ProRes, and 12-bit lossless video recording. Samsung has also applied a new lens coating to reduce flares and updated its image pipeline to improve skin tones, especially for lighter skin tones that previously looked too yellow. The front camera, however, sees no major upgrade. On the software side, the entire S26 series will launch with One UI 8.5 out of the box. One UI 8.5 deserves its own dedicated video, so I won't go deep into it here. But one exclusive feature coming first to the S26 Ultra is Bixby powered by Perplexity AI. Since both Siri and Bixby are famously useless, Samsung is clearly hoping this AI brain transplant will make people actually use Bixby. Another addition is AI notification summaries, similar to what Apple already offers, but potentially implemented better. Battery life remains a mixed story. Samsung is sticking with a 5,000 mAh lithium-ion battery and is not switching to silicon-carbon technology, which is disappointing. The good news is charging. The S26 series will support Key 2 charging, increasing wireless charging speeds from 15 watts to 25 watts and enabling MagSafe-style magnetic accessories that are compatible with Apple's ecosystem. As for launch timing, if Samsung's supply chain stays on track, the Galaxy S26 series could launch around February 25th. Pricing is still unclear. Earlier leaks suggested no price increase, but newer information points towards higher prices. Considering even Chinese brands are struggling to keep prices down, a 5 to 7% price increase from Samsung seems very likely. And if you're wondering why smartphone prices are increasing across the industry and why Samsung might raise prices this year, I'll explain all of that in the next video. I'll see you there.